Good day to you, everyone. This is Yeshua Said My Name, and yes, I'm back at Piney Run Park again today. I wasn't planning on coming here today, but the weather is supposed to be in the mid-50s and sunny. As you can see behind me, I've got sunshine today. So I just wanted to come out and do a live chat premiere. So the video is recorded, the chat will be live, reading from The Proof of the Illuminati, as well as correlating it with this book right here, 33 Degrees of Deception, regarding Freemasonry, okay? But, you know, I just figured with the weather being as nice as it is today, I wanted the scenery behind me and to come back outside again today and just film for you guys in a different location out at Piney Run Park. So I'm deep in the woods here right now. I'm probably about a half a mile from the main gate. I'm not going to do a trail walk today since I just took you guys on a trail walk yesterday, okay? So I am going to be reading from and just doing a live chat premiere video reading from, I'm sorry, I had this situated just right and got a little twisted up there. I'll be reading from Proof of the Illuminati, like we discussed during yesterday's video, and how the occult masonry, I'm going to be reading a chapter called Occult Masonry from this book. I'll put it up here so you can see the title of the chapter, hopefully. Occult Masonry, and how that is correlating with the 33 Degrees of Deception. Now, the man who wrote this book in particular is a former 33 degree Freemason and has a great testimony in this book, 33 Degrees of Deception, on exposing Freemasonry, okay? But before I begin, let me go ahead and show you the sky here. I'm going to twist the camera up for you. Look how beautiful it is. I have blue sky today, sunny skies. It's awesome. Beautiful weather out here. The sun is out. So I figured I would do a video out here today at Piney Run Park for you guys. Okay, so we can enjoy the scenery together. This week in, let me let the noise go by. That's security driving by, which I like about this park. Even though I'm ways from the gate, I love that security drives around. However, I'm not going to be doing a trail walk today since I just did that for you guys yesterday, but I felt like, wow, the weather's going to be in the 50s today and sunny. Why not do a video I was going to do at home and come out here and do it again? And there's free entrance right now because it's off season. So I figured I'd bring you guys out with me today and we could do a little bit of this research from The Proof of the Illuminati and reading from 33 Degrees of Deception. Now, when it comes to this book, I'll be doing a little bit of hopping around. I have a lot of pages dog-eared and some things underlined that I'll be reading for you from this book to go along with The Proof of the Illuminati, okay? For those of you who are unfamiliar, okay, and some of you might be, there are a lot of, denominations within what I call the Harlot Daughters of Rome, okay? The Harlot Daughters of Rome, according to Revelation 17, are those denominational offshoots that mimic the Vatican in many of her practices and her ways. And God tells us in Revelation, come out of her, my people, so you not be partakers of her plagues and of her sins. All right, so we are told to come out of this Vatican system, and if you're one of the Harlot Daughters of Rome or one of the denominations of an offshoot from Rome, come out of their practices, okay? Here comes another security truck. I'm sorry for the noise. Hopefully you can hear me over the noise. It's not too bad, but it's more security driving by. I'm wearing, of course, as you can tell, my sunglasses today. Those of you who know me, know why I'm wearing my sunglasses, okay? I've seen a lot of anomalous things in my videos on camera, as well as in my sunglasses, okay? I'm just going to show you where I'm at and how beautiful the view is. So there's a trail that, goes up that way, and there's a trail that goes up the other way, but I'm just going to sit here for now, okay? As usual, if you see anything anomalous behind me in the woods and my sunglasses, let me know as I'm reading. However, we're not really going to be discussing Nephilim or Sasquatch today. We're going to be discussing the Illuminati and Freemasonry, okay? Again, but however, because of where I'm at, if you see anything anomalous, just please let me know, okay? So let me start here with reading from The Proof of the Illuminati, which I gave you a little bit of an intro with yesterday during yesterday's live chat premiere. I'm going to read from you from here. Before I do, though, I did want to mention that I made a members-only video this morning. Okay, I have 6 members on this channel. Okay, that may not seem like a lot to you guys, but 6 members to me means everything. So I made a members-only video, and what I intend on doing, okay, as hopefully new members join, Lord permitting, I can start doing, live chats for members, giving members 24 to 48 hour advance viewing of videos that I put out. So I put out a video this morning of 3 anomalous photos that a subscriber sent me that she found in the mountains of, actually the wilderness of Texas where she lives, and there's a wooded area. She took anomalous pictures for me. Now, if you become a member, you can watch the video, okay? If you're not a member or don't desire to become one, I will make that video visible within 48 hours, okay, for everyone to see. But she submitted an email to me this morning of 3 anomalous tree structures that she found in her walk through the woods of Texas. I also have other images I'm going to be showing you later in the week from Brother Isaac that he has found on my trail walks here at Pawnee Run Park. So I'm going to save those for possibly a video tomorrow or later in the week. However, today I wanted to make a video about Freemasonry and how that relates to the Illuminati. So if you are not a member, okay, there are different tiers. It is only 99 cents a month. Okay, so if you decide to become a member of this channel, right now I have 6 members that pay 99 cents a month. That's it. And what that $6 a month does, it goes towards gas in my car, okay? Or it helps to, pay for something from the grocery store if I need it. All right, so thank you to those 6 members. Those members only videos I'm going to be doing more often, maybe 3 or 4 times a month for members only. And as the members increase, Lord willing, if the Lord adds to that number, that's up to him, not up to me. I will start to do not only regular live chats for everyone, live streams, but also live streams for members as well. So my reason for doing this is to thank the members of this channel, to thank the patrons of this channel. Okay, I have like 5 patrons, okay, and 6 members. So what I want to do is acknowledge these patrons, acknowledge these members by putting out members-only videos, saying thank you for what you've done because you're supporting this channel. It enables me to buy lighting and microphones, laptop gear if I need it to run this channel, backdrops, you name it. Okay, it puts gas in my car to come on location. So I really want to thank you, members, for joining this channel. And hopefully more of you will consider it. It's only 99 cents a month, and with it comes perks. Okay, so I'll be writing you handwritten notes. We'll be doing live streams for members only, as well as patrons. So the more patrons that sign up, we'll be doing more live chats just with patrons as well. So that's my way of reaching out as a shout out to thank those of you, okay, who are 99 cent a month members. Okay, thank you very much. All right, I do use it for my financial needs, and I wanted to thank those members today before we get into this video. All right, but as we get into discussing Freemasonry and the proof of the Illuminati and the chapter I'm going to read you, I hope you're enjoying the scenery behind me. As you can see, the sun is out. I thought it was going to be freezing cold today because when I first woke up, it was 32 degrees out. But ever since the sun came out, it's in the mid-40s right now. It's supposed to hit the mid-50s later today and tomorrow. So I figured, why not come out today instead of doing the video in my studio at home, come out today and do a video and have you guys enjoy the scenery with me, okay? So let's begin here with the occult masonry, all right? It's chapter 4 of the proof of the Illuminati, okay? By occult masonry is here to be understood those lodges of Freemasons. Now again, this book was written in the 1800s. Okay, so some of the verbiage or the terminology may be from the 1800s, so just bear with me as I read from this. By occult masonry is here to be understood those lodges of Freemasons, which leaving their original simple institutions introduced subjects and practices which had no connection with masonry, and of which the lodges which remained pure had no knowledge. To exhibit a brief view of what may be collected of importance respecting these adulterated lodges. From Robinson's proofs and Barrule's memoirs is the design of this chapter. Such a view is a necessary introduction to the history of Illuminism, or the Illuminati, and its connections with Masonic orders. So this book is correlating the Illuminati with the Masonic orders. Okay? Shocker, right? Dr. Robinson observes in the early part of his life, he commenced an acquaintance with Masonry, which he considered as affording a pretext for spending an hour or two in decent company within the lodges. That though he had been successful in his Masonic career and attained some distinguished degrees, yet he was induced to suspend his intercourse with the lodges, viewing Masonry as unprofitable amusement and in a degree inconsistent with the more serious duties of life. He also considered it inconsistent with his Christian life. And, that's what I find interesting, is that many Southern Baptists, okay, I'm not saying every Southern Baptist is a Freemason, but I attended a Southern Baptist church for maybe 15 years ago, and 90% of the deacons, the treasurers, teachers were all Masons, high-ranking Masons. And I ran into a gentleman in the hallway one time. His name was Tom, and I'm not going to mention his last name, but he was a deacon in the church that I attended, and he said, "You look like a woman on a mission." And I said, "I am. I'm out to find so-and-so." He's a 33-degree Freemason, and he's recruiting other men into the lodges. And his wife joined my discipleship training class because she knew I was exposing Freemasonry, okay, in my teaching classes, and she decided to join my class, okay, and report back to her husband what I was exposing about Freemasons. Great, so be it. Report back. Well, he used to pass by my classroom door all the time, staring at me and glaring at me all the time. I mean, every week, okay, as I was about ready to start a class, he would pass by the doorway and look at me like this, and I would meet his gaze right back. Like, "Can I help you?" And I knew his wife only had one reason for joining the class, and it was to report back to her husband that I was exposing Freemasonry for exactly what it was. I wrote the pastor of the church twice and was ignored. I tried to establish a verbal meeting and was ignored and dismissed. So when I ran into this deacon, Tom, in the hallway, I was on my way to confront a treasurer in our church that was a 33-degree Freemason, and I was going to confront him. In love, but I was going to confront him and tell him exactly what he was a part of, and that I was aware of it and he needed to get out. And when I ran into that deacon, I kind of felt like it was the Lord's way of stopping me. Maybe it wouldn't have turned out very well, but, I was out to vet these wolves. If the leadership of the church wasn't going to do it, and I brought it to their attention and they were ignoring it, I felt the Holy Spirit prompting me, then you go do it. You go and confront this man in love and tell him you know what he's a part of, you're praying for him to get out. And I was on my way to do that when I ran into a deacon, one of the deacons in the church that was not a Freemason. Okay? Now, ever since then, I've done my homework on the Southern Baptist Convention and how many there are that are involved in Freemasonry. And it's not just the SBC or the Southern Baptist Convention. There are many other harlot daughters of Rome or denominations that are involved in Freemasonic orders, which, in my opinion, are Luciferian. I have secret pictures from books, 2 books that were given to me secretly from a Freemasonic lodge. About 2 years ago, and I did a video about 3 or 4 months ago showing you the secret pictures that I took out of these Masonic books. They were given to me from a woman who had a father that was a high-ranking Freemason, and she took them from his personal library and handed them to me for a week and said, "Hurry up and look through these, read them, get the pictures you need, get the evidence you need. I got to get them back in my father's library before he knows they're missing." So I did that, and I actually made a video about that. Okay, a couple of different videos over the past few years about that. So if a Freemason tells you we're innocent, it's just a big boys club, it's not Luciferian, it's lies. Okay, it is a bunch of lies. Because this book right here is written from a man who came out of the lodges and exposes it. I've had letters in my P.O. box over the years from men who have left the lodges and told me that I'm speaking the truth about exposing these things. I've even had one woman write me. She left the Order of the Eastern Star because of the very same thing, and wrote me in my P.O. box several years ago telling me I got out. So, it's even if only one person is witness to and comes out of these Freemasonic lodges, then it's worth all this. It's worth it all, okay? So let me continue here. Let me see here. That while in this state of indifference respecting Freemasonry, his attention was awakened and his curiosity exciting by some new circumstances. So of course they're going to try and draw people in with what they consider to be excitement. There's another security truck driving by. Satan will make things look appealing, okay, by making it look exciting, appealing, okay, to try and draw people in. Satan does not present himself looking like, like an evil being. He masquerades as an angel of light. So he's going to make Freemasonry look appealing to men and the Order of the Eastern Star look appealing to women. All right. So that while in this state of indifference respecting Freemasonry, his attention was awakened and his curiosity excited by some new circumstances, particularly by what he met with a German work called Religious Occurrences, a periodical work published by Professor Koester of Gießen, which convinced him that Masonry was applied to the purposes of which he had been wholly ignorant. So in other words, in modern vernacular, he was ignorant of what Masonry was all about. That he found the lodges and the haunts of many projectors in religion and politics. See? Religion and in politics. Freemasonry is infiltrating. In direct opposition to the established rule in the scriptures. All right? So it goes on to say here, I'm trying to read down, Abbe Burrell introduces the subject of Masonry by bearing a most honorable testimony of the many lodges in England in particular, whose members he considers as ignorant of the real object of the institution. And let me read that again. That in England in particular, okay, he ran into people whose members he considered as ignorant of the real object of the institution. Most people are. Again, Satan appears as an angel of light. He's not going to appear like with, a pitchfork and horns on his head and looking demonic. He looks like an angel of light. He's actually probably a very beautiful being. Okay? That's why, God does not look on the outward appearance. Man looks at the outward appearance. God looks at the heart. Doesn't matter how beautiful you are, how much money you have, how tall you are, what you look like, what you own. God doesn't look at any of those things nor regard them when he chooses people for his purposes. Okay? And, Satan looks like an angel of light. He doesn't look evil. So when he comes to men and women trying to, recruit them to the Order of the Eastern Star or Freemasonry, he's going to make it look appealing. Look what you can be a part of. Look how prominent you can be. And yet the lower degrees of Freemasonry and the Order of the Eastern Star do not realize the Luciferian agendas that they are getting involved in until they are in the higher degrees. And I've had men write me in my P.O. box and tell me that very thing. Okay? So what I find interesting here is he was in England and he ran into members he considers as ignorant of the real object of the institution of Freemasonry, which he pronounces to be radically evil. That's what it says right here, that they were ignorant of the institution of Masonry, and he pronounced it to be radically evil. It is. I've been saying that for years on this channel. In support of this idea, he attempts to prove that the words liberty and equality, which are common to all lodges, imply not simply that the Masonic fraternity of which they are usually considered as expressive, but what they have been explained to intend in France during the late Revolution. Now remember, even in the Jesuit Oath of Induction, the Jesuits, which is still available in the Library of Congress to this day, the Jesuits still claim that they are permitted in their oath to incite wars, against nations that were at peace, to not regard rank or institution or the position of a person. They'll do anything they can to further their agenda, okay, including religious institutions, just like Freemasonry. Do not be surprised if you confronted the pastor of your church, if he was a Freemason. Do not be surprised if he tried to dodge your question. I'm telling you. Just go up and ask politely, hey, Pastor so-and-so, would you happen to be a member of a Freemasonic lodge? And see what their reaction is. Just try it. Doesn't mean you have to be rude or unloving. Just ask. And if you find out that they are a member of a lodge, pray for them. And start spreading seeds in the church where the Lord has led you. Plant seeds to help people get out. That's my admonition to you. All right, let me let this truck go by. Believe it or not, I'm sitting pretty deeply back in the woods, but there's some security driving by up here, which I really appreciate. So let me let them drive by. A liberty or freedom from all religious and moral obligation. An equality subversive of all social order and subordination. It cannot be expected that his observations on this subject should be introduced here, as they have no very intimate connection with the object of our present inquiry. He himself was a Mason, and at the same time not subject to the customary bonds of secrecy. To explain what is to be unusual, he relates that at the time of his administration, Masonry had become so frequent in France that the secret was less guarded, that upon a Masonic occasion where all of the company except himself were Masons, and generally his acquaintance and intimate friends, he was urged to join them. His intimate friends and he were urged to join the Masons, and in a manner forced with them into the lodge, but still refusing the proposed oath with great resolution. His firmness, it was said, proved him a Mason, and he was accordingly received with great applauses. And it goes on to talk about how this one person was accepted into the higher degrees of Masonry, and was indoctrinated into the higher degrees of Freemasonry, but he was unaware of what he was getting involved in until he was in the higher degrees of Freemasonry. Okay, let me see here. So anyway, but what I like about this one paragraph here, that it talks about the evil of Freemasonry. When he says here, bearing a most honorable testimony of many lodges, in England in particular, and I'm going to say the SBC churches too, the Southern Baptist churches, whose members he considers as ignorant of the real object of the institution, which he pronounces to be radically evil. Let me show you this. It's right up at the top of this page here that I'm going to show you. I hope you can see it. I don't know if you can read that or not, but it talks up here about it being radically evil, and that's what he considers it. Okay, so I just wanted to read you that. I wish the sun would come back out. It's getting a little bit chilly here without the sun being out. Okay. Okay. We need not be told that even in innocent indulgences are liable to degenerate into the most pernicious habits. What's that say again? We need not be told that even innocent indulgences, okay, are liable to degenerate into the most pernicious habits. All right, a channel being once opened by the heart could give vent to its feelings. The small stream soon become a torrent, affording a passage to every absurd, skeptical, and disorganizing idea, in which its final progress not only demolished the superstructures with superstition and despotism had raised, but threatened to undermine the foundations of religion and society. Now, what is it I told you that the late John F. Kennedy put out, actually in 1962, I believe? He made a video, okay, exposing secret societies permeating the governments of the world, okay? And a year later, he was taken out. I just find that very coincidental, all right? And here it's talking about how the Freemasonry is evil, that many people, it even says in this book from the 1800s, weren't aware of what they were getting involved in, and that they were out to undermine the foundations of religion and society. Now, that's exactly what's going on in the SBC churches. That's what's going on in the Harlot Daughters of Rome. I'm telling you guys, I'm issuing this admonition. Go to deacons in your church, go to pastors in churches and pulpits, and ask them nicely. Not rudely or unkindly, but ask them nicely, are you a Freemason? And just see what they say. If they say yes, or if they say, why do you ask? Just say, oh, I'm just curious. And if they ask you more questions, say, oh, I'm just praying for you. Plant seeds. Plant seeds. Doesn't mean you can't confront in love. It just means confront. Okay? So here it just, what it's talking about here is that their purpose was to undermine the foundations of religion and society. And that's in this book right here. Right here. Okay? Now, is that not what the Jesuit Oath of Induction is all about? Is undermining, okay, infiltrating religious systems, government, medical industries, and things like that. I mean, they're out to infiltrate it all. As a matter of fact, like I said, the Jesuit Oath of Induction is still in the Library of Congress to this day. And Pope Francis, who's passed away now, of course, was the first Jesuit Pope. And believe me, he took that oath. Okay, so is every Jesuit. All right. And again, Arturo Sosa is the Black Pope. He's the one who rules. He's the one who pulls the strings and holds the reins, okay, behind the White Pope of modern Vatican City State. In my opinion, the White Pope, the reigning White Pope at the time, is simply, like a front runner for who's really pulling the strings, which is the Black Pope, all right, which is Arturo Sosa. So let me read for you a little bit from 33 Degrees of Deception, okay? I'm going to skip around through some different pages that where this man here in this book, okay, this gentleman here, here's his picture on the back. This gentleman here is an ex-Freemason, and he goes into how the Lord drew him out of Freemasonry and led him to write this book. His name is Tom McKenney, to write this book to other people that are trapped in this system to come out. And how he could not reconcile being a born-again Christian with being a Freemason. He said he couldn't reconcile it, and I don't blame him. So I'm going to read a few excerpts that I have, dog-eared and outlined for you from Thomas McKenney, all right, and show how it correlates with this proof of the Illuminati, linking it to Freemasonry and the New World Order, okay? All right. It isn't right, he goes on to say. I started down the wide steps in front of the large Scottish Rite temple, Tom says, realization and conviction growing within me. Growing in me, I reached the bottom step and stopped. Turning around, I looked back at the huge granite building and slowly studied the words carved into the stone across the top of the entrance. Quote, ancient and accepted Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. Okay? Something came clearly into focus in my understanding. So he got to the bottom of the stairs at this building, and it says here, ancient and accepted Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. Something came clearly into focus in my understanding, and I made a decision, Thomas said. This crisis point in my life, one which had required so many years for me to reach, passed in seconds. The truth was revealed and the choice was made. Okay? A choice that would be the difference between darkness and light. Death and life. So he said he was making a choice between dark and light, death and life. One that would last for eternity for me, he said. Looking up at those words I had walked under so many times, words of which I had been so proud to be a part of, I spoke to myself out loud. It was as if I were the only man in the world, as I heard myself say slowly, let me turn the page here, and deliberately, it isn't ancient, it isn't Scottish, it isn't free, and it isn't right. Now, this is what this man said. So apparently, as he was about ready to go into a lodge that he had been a member of for many years, the Holy Spirit began to expose to him. He began to rustle his spirit. Any of us who are born-again Christians, we know the conviction of the Holy Spirit. We know when we're feeling something that feels like sandpaper rubbing against our souls. Something's not sitting right, okay? So as we are seeking the Lord about things, as we are testing things, vetting things, there will be times as we're seeking the Lord where he'll put like a rustling in your spirit. Something's not sitting right. Especially after you seek God about it. Say, Lord, is this of you? And if something is rustling, not sitting right, rubbing your soul like sandpaper, you need to pay attention to those feelings and ask the Holy Spirit, is that him speaking to you? Okay? So this man goes on to say here again, all right, it was as if I were the only man in the world, as I heard myself slowly say, and deliberately, quote, it isn't ancient, it isn't Scottish, it isn't free, and it isn't right. Walking in the light, he goes on to say. I tried to explain to my friend Mike that Thursday night and told him quietly but forcefully that I was never going to return to the Masonic Lodge. He looked at me for a few seconds trying to understand, okay, but unable to do so. Then my friend said, all right, Jim, but what you need is a drink. Let's go get one. All right, Mike, I replied, but just one. As we started for the bar near where he lived, I said, I don't think I'll have a drink, Mike. I think I'll just have a soda with you. As we sat at the bar, my friend Mike continued to ask questions, trying to understand what was happening in my life and why I wanted to leave the lodge. I answered him as well as I could. He knew that I had dedicated my life to Masonry, okay, and how hard I had worked in it. He had been there with me for many years, working beside me when others were not willing to work. Since his first moment as a Masonic candidate, we had been together. I had urged him to join and had given him his petition. I had sponsored him, and as a senior deacon, I was escorting him through the blue degrees. All right, now the blue degrees are something else that I'll make another video on. Okay, there's something called the blue degrees. I know about that, and I'll make a video for you about that soon. Okay, not today, but I'll make a video about the blue degrees of Masonry soon. All right, so I was escorting him throughout the blue degrees when he threw Jubila across the lodge hall and established a hands-off policy. We had worked together in the Scottish Rite degrees so many times, working harder than all the rest. Okay? He had even taken time off and gone with me when I received the KCCH, all in caps. If anyone on earth knew how truly I had loved and served Masonry and how hard I worked in and for it, it was my friend Mike. So this man was dedicated to it. Okay? But he had come to find out that it was evil, it wasn't right, and he was telling his friend Mike, I need to get out. And this was a man right here that, as a born-again Christian, wanted out. All right? Now I'm going to read the back of this book for you again. Okay, for those of you who may be unfamiliar with what the preface is of this book and what it's all about. Freemasonry, a deadly deception. So let me show you that on the back. Maybe you can read some of the wording here for yourself. If you'd like to freeze frame some of these images here and just freeze frame it on the screen and read it, screenshot it, feel free to do so. I'll hold it up here for a second. Freemasonry, a deadly deception. Oh, I love it that the sun is out. If the sun wasn't out, it would be probably too cold to be sitting out here right now without a coat. All right. The book goes on to say, all right, the shadow of death hovers over many of the rites and rituals of Freemasonry. The Letters in the Masonic Institution by John Quincy Adams, we learn of an ancient Masonic ritual known as the Fifth Libation, which involves drinking wine from a human skull. Oh my goodness me. Every Mason takes death oaths, and several Masonic executions have taken place throughout history. Now, doesn't this remind you almost of the Jesuit oath of induction? When a Jesuit takes the oath, he holds a dagger to his chest and takes the oath. Swearing death if he ever betrays a fellow Jesuit. Okay, this is what this reminds me of. All right? When it says here, the shadow of death hovers over many of the rites and rituals of Freemasonry, in Letters of the Masonic Institution by John Quincy Adams, okay, we learn of an ancient Masonic ritual known as the Fifth Libation, which involves drinking wine from a human skull. Every Mason takes death oaths, and several Masonic executions have taken place throughout history. Author Tom McKenney exposes the deadly secrets of this fraternity, which has more than 3 million members around the world. And guys, when this book was written, I'm telling you, there's more than 3 million members now. When I went to this Baptist church, okay, and there were people there that I loved greatly, okay, so I'm not trying to down this church that I went to for years, because there were many people there that were precious to me. However, I could not get past being ignored when I went to church leadership about 90% of the deacons being Freemasons, recruiting other men and women into the Order of Eastern Star and Freemasonry, okay, and I was dismissed and told, and brushed off. I'm sorry, I couldn't look the other way. I couldn't. I had to obey my conscience and say, I'm wiping the dust off my feet, I'm done. If you as a leader in the church, a pastor, a deacon, you're not going to vet these wolves, I'm out. And that's who I am. You're not going to confront them, I will. And once I do, bye. Shaking the dust, moving on. Author Tom McKenney exposes the deadly secrets of this fraternity, which has more than 3 million members. Of course, I think there's more now, worldwide than just 3 million members, okay? I'm hearing squirrels up here. They're all playing up there. It's so cute to watch. It really is. All right. In a careful and objective manner, okay, He reveals the connection between Freemasonry and the New Age movement. Isn't that what we learned here? About the NWO, the New World Order, the Illuminati, the New Age movement? It's all connected. He reveals the connection between Freemasonry and the New Age movement, and he delves into the occult roots of the secret society. So he calls it the occult roots of Masonry, of the secret society. 33 Degrees of Deception is a very comprehensive book that tells the personal story of one completely dedicated Mason, Jim Shaw, who became a knight commander of the Court of Honor. Do you see how Satan tries to make this look appealing? I'll make you a knight of the Court of Honor. You're going to have prestige. You're going to have position. You're going to have accolades of men. You know, and this is what Satan tries to draw people in with. Position, power, influence, titles, you name it. Okay? And yet, what does it profit a man or a woman to gain the whole world and titles and esteem and position and lose their soul? What? What do you give in exchange for your soul? Because in this world you had title, fame, and position given by Satan. But then lose your soul. All right? Worshipful Master of the Blue Lodge. Now again, I'll try and do videos for you guys on, the Blue Orders and the Blue Lodge, all right? And the Master of all Scottish Rite bodies, okay? You will want to know why Jim Shaw left Freemasonry and the price he paid for leaving. So he was gang stalked, all right? I've done videos, actually it's probably been about 3 or 4 years since I've done a video on gang stalking, but I've had men write me telling me that they've been gang stalked because they decided to leave the Masonic orders, that they've had gang stalking going on. And some of you listening to this right now may have been dealing with that. And if you are, I'd like to know about it. If you want to write me privately my P.O. box and give me a testimony, because you don't leave an email trail, that's fine. I will pray for you. Okay, there are members of this channel that will pray for you and pray for your protection and stand with you. You are not alone, okay? We are here for you. If you're out of these lodges and you're being stalked and you need prayer and you need brothers and sisters to surround you with prayer and care, we're here, okay? You will want to know why Jim Shaw left Freemasonry and the price he paid for leaving. This book sheds light on the darkness of Freemasonry, as the author gives penetrating answers to the questions many people ask about this secret society. This book goes on to ask, is there a connection between Masonry and the Illuminati? Here's the proof of the Illuminati. I've only begun to read that for you. It says here, is there a connection between Masonry and Illuminati? Why is Freemasonry opposed to Christianity? Is Freemasonry a religion? And can a man be both a Christian and a Mason? Well, I would ask that about women too. Can you claim to be a born-again Christian and be a part of the Order of the Eastern Star? You know, Christ specifically says that you will love one master and hate the other. You cannot love two masters at the same time. You can't. Jesus said that. You will love one master, not two. You will love the one and hate the other. And Christ tells you to count the cost of following him. Do not suppose Christ said, I come to bring peace on the earth. I come to bring a sword. A man will be against his own son. A mother will be against her own daughter or daughter-in-law. All because of Christ bringing that sword of division. Okay? There is also, along with this book here that I've read to you from, and I'll continue to read other chapters for you from this and correlate it with these 33 degrees of Freemasonry. I want to show you a little bit of the Illuminati card game. Some of you may have seen some of the pictures, and yes, I have to hold up my phone for you again because I'm using my Chromebook and I just don't have the software, guys, to put it up right now, but I'll do my best to use that new laptop that my friend Christine sent me to try and download the appropriate programs. The only thing is that they do cost, so I'm going to have to save up for that to get the appropriate programs to put up more maybe professional type presentations for you guys, like PowerPoints and things like that. So for now, until I can do that, I'm using what I have available to me, which is my phone. So let me go ahead and look up for you. Let me see if I can get this up here. I'm sorry, I need to get Google up and look up the Illuminati card game and show you a few pictures from that. All right, Illuminati. Okay, if I can spell this right. All right, Illuminati card game images. All right. Now, this is one that I find interesting, where they're making fun of the church, about this UFO phenomena, the Nephilim phenomena, and they make fun of us Christians, thinking that we don't know anything about it, right? That we're just idiots, we know nothing about it, that we have no answer for it, okay? Let me show you a slightly different scenery here. There you go. I'm trying to show you guys a little bit of a different scenery so you can enjoy the sunshine and the scenery behind me. But this is a church here in what they call Middle America, okay? And what they're doing here in this Illuminati card game is they're making fun of Christians, okay? And what they have here is a church with saucers flying overhead. If you can see that. Now, this is part of the Illuminati card game. And I'll show you other pictures as well. And what do they say here? They'll never get it, it says, even when the saucers are flying over their heads. So what they're saying is you Christians will never get it. And that's what the Illuminati card shows. That we Christians are just idiots, that we don't know that Sasquatch exists and modern Nephilim exist and that the UFO phenomena are powers and principalities and fallen angels. Apparently they think we're ignorant, So let me look up other pictures here. Isn't it interesting that there's a picture here with, it says UFO, and it's got 666 on it, which represents to me the mark of the beast, but it's showing what I consider to be an unclean spirit that looks like a frog. Now remember in Revelation when John said he saw 3 unclean spirits go out to the kings of the earth, okay, that look like frogs. Now I've often believed that these are like our modern day grays that we see in movies and on people's shirts and television shows and sci-fi movies and things like that. So here we've got this 666 twice. It says UFOs, and it's a picture of what looks like an alien gray inside of a pyramid. Okay, now this is one of the Illuminati cards as well. Okay, now when John said he saw unclean spirits that look like frogs, that's what that reminds me of. And yet these beings are seen all over our culture, in movies and everything. I mean, they're seen everywhere. Let's face it. Let me see what else I can find here. Here's more that look like alien grays, and this is part of the Illuminati card game. Is that what John saw when he said he saw unclean spirits that look like frogs? It could be. It's just something to consider. Here's another one. An unclean spirit looking like a frog holding money in his hand. Now why are these unclean spirits being shown looking like frogs all over these Illuminati card games? Here we go again, all looking like alien grays. They're not aliens, they're demonic spirits. John called them unclean spirits that looked like frogs. That's exactly what they are. Okay? Let me see if I can find, here's another one, flying saucer. So what they're doing is they're telegraphing you information about these powers and principalities and the vehicles that the fallen angel technology that they use. This is all another Illuminati card, guys, from the Illuminati card game. Okay. Let me see if I can find more pictures here for you guys. I want to look for the Illuminati card game about the Twin Towers, because they actually had a card for the Twin Towers being destroyed. They actually had a card for oh, here we go. Well, let me show you this first. Illuminati, the New World Order. This is another a part of the card game. Illuminati, New World Order. You've got the all-seeing eye, the pyramid. Now here's the Illuminati card from the Illuminati card game. Okay. Here's the book I'm just showing you with the same symbol. And then, of course, like I showed you yesterday, but I'll show you again today. All right. I showed you a dollar bill yesterday with the same symbol on it. And yet people want to think that our money is patriotic. Okay. All right. So we've got a dollar bill here with the same symbol. The all-seeing eye, the pyramid, announcing the conception of a new world order, Novus Ordo Seclorum. You got this, You've got this Illuminati card with the same symbol on it. See how it's all connected? And then this book written in the 1800s. I'm telling you, God has been raising people up since this time, because this book was written in 1802. All right? There is nothing new under the sun, guys. What has been will be again, and there is nothing new under the sun. So I wanted to show you those examples again. Let me see if I can find some more. I want to find the, like I said, the Twin Towers. They even had the oil spill in the Gulf. Do you remember when the oil spill in the Gulf happened, in the Gulf of Mexico? And, you know, there were pictures of birds in the news that were covered in oil. They even have an Illuminati card showing birds in the Gulf of Mexico covered in oil from that oil spill. Which makes me wonder, was that deliberate? You know? I'm not kidding. Let me see here. I'm trying to find specific cards. Now, if you look up the Illuminati card game, you're going to find for yourself a bunch of different things. You know, the Twin Towers, things that have happened in the past, things that are yet to happen and come. And I truly believe that with their dark side agenda, that they are out. Let me see, card, let me see, I'm going to put in Twin Towers. I think with their dark agenda, they have to telegraph people what they're going to do, like what their plans are. And I think that that's part of the satanic occult way of doing things, is even though they hide things in plain sight, their dark side agenda has to telegraph to you what they're doing. So let me bring up the Twin Towers Illuminati card game. Here we go. Terrorist nuke. And here's the Twin Towers and the Illuminati card game. I mean, hello? What? I mean, this is all a coincidence, right? Let's all just keep moving on, going about our daily lives, nothing to see here. You know, no, there's nothing to this Illuminati card game. It's all just innocent fun, you know. There's the Twin Towers. And you know, this card game came out in the 1980s before this even happened. This came out in the 1980s before it even happened. Okay, so that's just that. I'm just saying that if you dig deep enough and go down these rabbit holes, it's very disturbing. It says here, did this card game from the 1990s, okay, the 90s, I'm sorry, 1990s, predict 9/11? And this is what this is asking right here. Did this card game predict? So here you've got a real picture on this side of what happened. You've got a picture on this side of what really happened on 9/11 and the card game. Hopefully you can see that. I hope there's not a glare from the sun. But you see how they were predicting it? It even asks up top, were they predicting this? Of course they were. Okay. I'll see if I can find the Illuminati card oil spill as well. Oh, here's the Pentagon getting hit. All right, here you go again. Remember on 9/11, it said that a plane flew into the Pentagon? All right, here's a card. Here's the Pentagon. Now, why were these cards released and created long before the Twin Towers were destroyed, long before the Pentagon was hit? Why were they created? If these New World Order secret societies were not already planning and scripting ahead of time what they want to do to bring about their New World Order. They create the chaos and they want to come in and swoop in and act like they're the rescuers. Okay? All right? Let me see if I can find this oil spill here for you guys. So I wanted to show you the Twin Towers, the Pentagon getting hit. I'll say Illuminati oil spill. Here we go, oil spill. And here's a bird covered in oil. This is another Illuminati card with the bird covered in oil from the oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico. Can you see that clearly enough? I hope there's not too much of a glint or a glare. So my advice to you would be, look up the Illuminati card game. See for yourself what it's all about. That's why I wanted to and I'm going to do simple, this is already a 50-minute video today, so I'm not going to drag it on much longer. But I wanted to do a video for you today correlating the proof of the Illuminati with one of the paragraphs out of here, and where the man says here in this book from the 1800s how evil Freemasonry is, and read to you a couple paragraphs from Tom McKenney's testimony of how the Holy Spirit led him out of the Freemasonic lodges and how dark and evil they were. There is so much information in this book, guys, so much. And I'll continue to do other videos for you from this book as well. But I wanted to turn this into a live chat premiere and bring you back out to the park with me today. Again, no trail walk today, guys. You know, I did that for you yesterday, so I figured I would just do a regular video today and turn it into a live chat premiere, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. I've had requests and emails from people to do more videos on the papacy, on the Vatican, you know, and on the Jesuit Oath of Induction, so I will do that as well as get into Bohemian Grove. Okay, there's a lot of people that don't realize how many presidents and dignitaries visit Bohemian Grove and how evil that really is. Okay, hopefully you've enjoyed today's presentation. It is nice out here. I mean, it's sunny, as you can see, but there is a breeze picking up out here, so it's going to get a little chilly. It's like the wind's picking up. It's okay. It's just nice to see the sun today, because yesterday it was cloudy. But I'll go ahead and upload this for you guys, and we'll turn it into a live chat premiere. And I'll probably try and have it up by lunchtime. It's like 10:30 in the morning right now, so I wanted to get out here early. And I'll try and make this like a lunchtime live chat for us all to enjoy. Thank you if you're a member of this channel. Thank you if you're a patron. Your money goes to supporting me so that I can run this channel, put gas in my car, and buy the necessary equipment I need to do these videos. Okay, because I truly feel God has called me to this ministry and to be a watchman on the wall. So I thank you for being here. Even if you're not a patron or a member, thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for hitting the like button. Thank you for sharing the videos. Everything you do like that helps the algorithm of this channel to be seen on YouTube. Okay? Thank you so much. And I appreciate you. I love your fellowship. I'm also going to be checking my P.O. box again soon and giving shout outs to people for cards. Speaking of cards, I am writing thank you notes back in hand to a friend named Tammy, to CJ, okay, and a couple other people that have sent me cards in my P.O. box within the last 2 to 4 weeks. I'm going to take time, most likely later this week and this weekend, to personally write you out handwritten thank you notes and cards and mail them to you. So I want to thank you guys for those cards, and I will write you back in person, okay? So thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you for tuning into this live chat premiere. It's been 52 minutes of fun, I think, and of course, exposing the deeds of darkness, correct? Ephesians 5:11. If you noticed anything unusual in my sunglasses or behind me today, let me know. Okay, it's like I said, I will share your pictures. I do have an upcoming video. All right, so this is like a little spoiler alert. Brother Isaac and another sister sent me pictures between last night and this morning, more anomalous pictures of my trail walk from yesterday. So I didn't expect to get pictures in that soon, okay, but I have. So I will try and make a presentation of that for you maybe later today or tomorrow, maybe tomorrow. But like I said, I was emailed from a brother Isaac and a sister some anomalous photos that they did capture on my trail walk yesterday. So no trail walk today. I figured it'd be nice just to bring you out in the sun and with the scenery behind me and correlate the Illuminati and the 33 degrees of Freemasonry. They're all connected. And again, John F. Kennedy did a video in 1962 in black and white talking about secret societies permeating the governments of the world, and he wasn't around a year later. Okay, I think he talked too much and people didn't like it. All right. So thank you for praying for my safety as I come out to Piney Run Park. I love it out here, guys, and I'm not going to stop coming, Lord willing. So thank you for your prayers for me. Thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for hitting the like button and for commenting, okay, and even sharing these videos. That in itself is a help, and I really thank you for that and your fellowship and your prayers, okay? More to come soon, as I always say, Lord willing. We're going to be talking about Bohemian Grove, and I've got plenty of other subjects planned. I'm going to delve more into, more of Chuck Missler's presentations on the fallen angels and the UFO phenomenon as well. Okay, but I wanted today's video to be about exposing more about Freemasonry, begging you to come out. Again, before I end this video, all right, I confronted the Southern Baptist Convention about a decade ago. I confronted a pastor and 90% of the deacons at a church that I went to about them joining lodges and recruiting men and women into these things. And I was told that I was just causing trouble, that I needed to mind my business. All that. I'm like, oh, no, not going to have that. And I shook the dust off my feet and moved on. I'm thinking, if I can't expose it here and it's going to be ignored and the leaders of the church are not going to vet the wolves that are creeping in, then I'll expose them on YouTube. Okay? So I guarantee you, mark my words, if you ask a deacon or a pastor in your church, are you involved in Freemasonry, you'd be shocked what you're going to find out. Absolutely shocked. Because we are living in Laodicean times. We are living in the days of the harlot daughters of Rome. And that's why. Time to plant seeds, and try and pray that people would come out of these systems. Okay? Christ is the only light we need. Jesus himself said in John chapter 10, all who follow me will never walk in darkness, but have the light of life. Okay? The wind's picking up here. All who follow me will never walk in darkness, but have the light of life. So why do we need Freemasonry or the Order of the Eastern Star to enlighten us in higher degrees if we have Christ, who is the light of life, who is our only Savior? There was no other name given men under heaven by which we must be saved but the name of Jesus. That's it. He said, I am the way, the truth, and the life, and no one comes unto the Father except through me. It's not through a denomination or a priest or a pope or Freemasonry or being a Jesuit or an Order of the Eastern Star. It's none of that. None of that will save you. If you leave this world and you're relying on being a high-ranking Freemason to save you, you're lost. If you rely on a pope or a priest or a pastor to save you, not going to save you. Only the name of Jesus, Yeshua, our Messiah, is the only name given us under heaven by which we must be saved. God bless you. Thank you for listening, guys, and more to come soon, Lord willing.